Good Saturday morning. It's the 2nd of June. Um, yeah. Anyway, I digress. We got a few things going on everywhere. Of course, it's now spring again here in Iowa. It has dropped down to very comfortable temperatures overnight, and it's not 1,000 degrees outside anymore. It's just 100 degrees now. It's just like 70 something degrees outside, which is very comfortable. As opposed to the oppressive 90s and 100s we've had over the past week. Makes it livable in a mobile home. Even though the sun still beats down on it, it's still pretty warm in here. But anyway, still no word about no grip. Nobody knows anything. So RIP, no grip, unless they happen to come back up. They weren't back up this morning when I checked real quick. So there's a footnote on this week of, was it May 28th, the week of May 28th, RIP, no grip. Sad. There's a cup of coffee, grab yours, have a sip with me. But that's that. So we're going to have to go to some of the foreign language sites for GTR stuff. Unfortunately, there's a couple of other English speaking sites out there that had it, but just not as nice as No Grip was. So there you go. That's that. The knot, of course, is where I do my hot lapping. It's mostly NR2K, so all that stuff is still readily available. There's some stuff over at Race Department for GTR2, but not as much as you would think. No Grip had more. So that's that. I have a couple other links for other sites I might share for GTR2, GTL. That was kind of our place to go for that kind of stuff. There's, of course, team trips, but that's not readily available, and he doesn't share his stuff as often. So, hurting fingers this morning. That's that. So, if you can figure out how to get the team trip, then go ahead and figure it out. Because they have everything for any sim except for NR2K. A lot of sites don't have NR2K because it's an oval sim, and these are all hardcore road racing guys. So there you go on that. Lots of ums this morning. My brain's not fully functional. Overslept a little bit again. Hit the snooze at 9:10, and it's 9:45 in the morning when you finally really start shaking around and getting out of bed. So, no. Tigg's job's not that hard. It's just oppressively humid in the building, and that saps your energy. And well, at least it saps mine. It makes me very tired. We had 7 accidents over Thursday and Friday morning at work. People, machinery's breaking down because it doesn't like the heat and doesn't like all the hours it's working. The people are too. And when my company realizes that we need a break, even though we just had a 3-day weekend, going back to 40 hours for a couple of weeks and then hitting us with overtime again would probably be a good thing, but they don't see it that way. They just want their product out, and that's just the way it is. So we gotta get the product out, and people are getting tired, people are getting cranky. My immediate supervisor, who's, for better lack of terms, a total idiot. I hope he doesn't watch this, because I hope he doesn't know who I am in this world. Probably doesn't, but he's a total idiot. He's a young guy. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he doesn't get that we can't do everything that he wants done. It's a short line, like I've said before. We have 10 people doing the work of 25 people, and he expects us to be able to bounce around the entire line doing everything except brazing, which is, copper welding, basically. If we haven't been trained for that, we don't do that. But Everything else, he expects us to learn everything else on the line. And I pretty much do. There's like one or two little jobs I don't know, but other than that, it's it gets difficult bouncing around doing all this stuff, trying to get product out. But we get it out as best we can, and we're supposed to make money, but we usually don't do enough units to make any money. I think we're headed towards $1 extra an hour. Big whoop. The tax man comes and takes half of that or better away. So there you go. That's my complaint about work today. On the more happier things, sim racing is going good. We've got a lot of hot laps up at Stenod. Like I said yesterday, if you do road courses and you don't want to do solo runs, put AI on there and have at it. It's not that difficult to do. It really isn't. I knocked out 3 or 4 yesterday of single car hot lapping on mostly short tracks. It took me like 20 minutes to knock out 3 of them. Not that hard. Just go in, lay down the fastest lap possible, and do that. I also made a post this morning about reviewing your wheel at Stenod. Of course, most of my posts will be at Stenod. Basically, that was for there's a couple of us in the market to see what's out there for wheels. My particular wheel is well over 10 years old, and it's getting a little worn out. It's getting a little slow in responding to the inputs. So, some of us are in the market to see what's out there. I won't be buying one for quite some time. Don't have the money. So, but I do have a Microsoft Sidewinder back in the back room. See if it's in a little, because it didn't get used as much. A little better condition than this one is. I may come out and swap it out and see how it works with Windows 10, even though that is still, a 10-year-old plus wheel. It's not been used as much, and it's not as jiggly loose as this one is. The only difference is that one doesn't have a shifter on the side. It just has paddle shifters, buttons on the wheel. But if you got a good wheel and it's relatively new, go to Stenod and the general talk section. Look for the review your wheel post. Write a review on your wheel. That way, other guys, we get a true opinion from a sim racer, not the company and not some paid reviewer. We get it from somebody just like us who sim races, who knows what it's supposed to do, how it's supposed to feel like, and all that kind of fun stuff. So go on over there and do that. Let people know. I mean, it's not that hard. Write a 4 or 5 line paragraph on what you like about your wheel, what you don't like about your wheel. That way people have an honest opinion. So there you go. There's a lot of guys actually don't race with wheels anymore. They use game pads because wheels have gone extremely expensive. I mean, this Momo I bought new for $89 in tax. The Microsoft I got at Goodwill for $10. Happened to be in Goodwill one day and saw it sitting there and just bought it. Not very often you see stuff like that at Goodwill, but every once in a while you run across a little gem like that, and that was one day I ran into that. So there you go on that. He's got the Pocono for hot lapping. He's got the Pocono North Road Course, which I didn't even know existed in NR2K, and obviously it's existed for well over 10 years because it was at the U.S. pits, and they haven't posted any content for NR2K since R Factor came out in 2007. I was kind of floored that it was there. I don't think I ever downloaded that before myself, so it's going to be interesting. He's going to do that in the Project Wildfire PTA cars, which, you look at those cars, and same thing with the pits cars. They really look good until you get to the wing. And I always thought the wings that they put on there is something they slapped on haphazardly, just to have them there, because they actually don't do anything in that particular sim. You do the spoiler rate, but it acts more like a spoiler than a wing does by providing the proper downforce. So I just think the wings were kind of ugly. They weren't. They looked like three 2x4s, you know, or 1x4s slapped on the back of a car. That's what they look like to me. I never liked them. I always thought they'd left a lot to be desired, and still do, especially compared to some of the other newer sims, GTR2, Assetto Corsa, R Factor. You know, the wings look like wings and do what they're supposed to do, but not in R2K. Of course, that's an oval racing sim, not a road racing sim, so there you go. That's how that works out. Anyway, so go do some hot lapping, have some fun, put AI on the track if you want to race with somebody else so you're not out there alone on some of these longer ones that he's got up there, and have some fun. This is the Tigg. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast.